the suitability of using blockchain technology in some application, right? And remember, this is very important because if you have studied some past year questions, definitely you will see some question related to that, asking you whether a certain type of application is suitable for you or not, to consider blockchain technology to develop that applications. Okay? Or he can ask you also why it is suitable, to ask you directly. Okay? Why it is suitable for a given application and so on. Okay? So you must understand how to answer. You must look at the nature of the application. Okay? What are your requirements on the application? And then also you must know very well the characteristic of blockchain technologies. For example, meant for centralization, the transaction throughput cannot be too high. Okay, don't expect that you can handle thousands of transactions per second, right? Okay, and then also sometimes you need to think about the privacy, the confidentiality of data, and so on. So there are a lot of things for you to consider. Right? Don't worry, I will come back to this in our revision. Okay, usually I will allocate one lecture for pure revision. Usually will be our last lecture. Okay, we'll do revision together. So it's very important for you to stay until the last lecture. Right? Okay. Now let's continue with our story. Okay, hopefully you still have the energy with you to start off with another interesting learning section. Okay, so today in your lectures, the objective is very simple. Once again, there are two parts in this chapter, part 1 and part 2. Basically, it's going to talk about those underlying technologies for blockchain. Okay, so what made blockchain technology possible? Okay, we just look at this this aspect only. What kind of technology actually made blockchain technology possible? Actually, blockchain is not totally a brand new technology. It made use of a lot of technologies that we have already developed right, in the past. Right? It's a combination of various technology that we have already. And for those technology can be more than 40 years, 50 years, and so on. Okay, we just make use of them. Do some combination. Okay. Okay. Now before that, okay, let's look at the evolution of our computer system. Of course, we have electromechanical system, okay, at the very beginning. This is talking about history of computer. I don't want to talk too much on that because I know for IT students, sure you know about the history of computer. Too boring for you to hear the history. We straight away go to the times where we are now. Okay, okay. After we've gone through all these things, all these stages, okay. Like mainframe system. I don't think you know what's a mainframe system. Last time we used to have IBM S4000. Have you heard about IBM S4000's mainframe? No, right? This is not your generation, my generation. Okay? When some of my senior graduated, they became the administrator for this kind of mainframe. If you know that knowledge, of course, you don't worry about a job after graduation. But now, no one will need this kind of knowledge. Okay? For IT graduate, sometimes not so easy. You need to always catch up with the new technologies and so on. Not like other professions, right? Or IT profession like you, software developers and so on in the future. Wow! You're going to have a hard time. Get a lot of new programming languages and so on. New kind of system and so on. Right? And then after that, we have seen the emergence of those the portable devices like your laptop, your smartphones, and so on, right? Okay, so it make the computing more and more pervasive. Everyone can access basically. You don't need to learn how to use a computer. You can access information online using a handphone and so on. In the past, you need to learn how to use a computer, but now you use your handphone. It's very intuitive. You know how to use it and so on, right? Okay, so it's more accessible to the public. And now we have this. Now we are here. Now we have a lot of so-called centralized and distributed system. This is not something strange to you. I think you are quite familiar already with all this centralized system. You are using Gmail, right? Rena, okay? You are using this Facebook and so on. All these are considered centralized system because they hold a lot of your data. Okay? For example, this Gmail, okay, or Google Drive, okay. So it's all your data, your files, and so on. Will go there, right? Correct or not? Your email messages and so on. Okay. And for this identity service also, okay. You also, for example, Facebook or Google, when you want to access certain applications online, now you have a choice to actually log in using this Facebook account, Gmails, and so on, right? You don't need to remember so many username and password. It's very convenient for you, right? But all these are centralized, okay? Let's say one day, okay, you lost access to your Gmail account or Facebook account. Maybe they block you, due to some reason or whatever. Then can you access other applications? Cannot, right? Okay. So this is disadvantages, okay, of this kind of centralized services. Of course, very convenient. It's very convenient. Okay, but there is a risk, It can be a single point of failure also. Let's say the service that provide you access to other systems and so on. If it is down, then you no more can access to other systems. Okay. And also, it's very difficult for you to port your data from one platform to another platform. Okay. Now you get used to WhatsApp. Let's say one day WhatsApp want to charge you. You need to subscribe to their package or plans and so on. Would you willing to pay money using WhatsApp? How many of you willing to pay? Let's say they charge you $10 per month to use WhatsApp. Do you want? Would you fork out 10 ringgit not USD this is now very strong. Okay, 10 ringgit, are you willing to pay? If no, then what can you do? If you don't want to pay, what would you do? WhatsApp, you don't want to use already. What do you do? You cannot survive without this kind of instant messenger, right? It's very convenient. Actually, I hate WhatsApp. Last time when I work, okay, know this kind of technology, and I can enjoy very good weekends and so on. No one will look for me and so on. I don't need to look at message. No, keep on coming. If you don't read, then you miss something. You are working 24/7 already, right? Okay, no good. WhatsApp. Can everyone let's join me to discontinue WhatsApp? That everyone will use. Then I don't need to use also. Okay, if you don't want to use WhatsApp, most likely you will get someone to answer me. Friend? So you cannot use WhatsApp, you want to pay. So what you do?
Use other apps.
Use other, right? For example?
Telegram.
Telegram, right? Okay, so Telegram is an option. However, you have used your WhatsApp for years. Yeah, all your contacts and all your video, all your messages, everything inside WhatsApp. Do you think that you can port them seamlessly without any problem? All the things okay, to this new platform called Telegram. Is it possible now? I don't know, I never tried. Our friend, your suggestion, I want to go to Telegram. Do you think you can move all your messages, all the video inside WhatsApp or whatever? Can? You tried before? Exactly, everyone. Message from everyone. Ready? I'm not sure. Okay? Maybe yes, possible. Okay? But sometimes for other application might not be the case. Okay? You have problem because the data is owned by those centralized services. This is the things that some people don't like. Okay? So they're having ideas to move towards this new system, which is called decentralized system. Okay? So in this decentralized system, you won't have those disadvantages of centralized system like this censorship lah, this single point of failure lah. You don't have the control over your data lah, and so on. Okay, so that's why people want to move. This is our next directions. Okay, so actually we are moving toward that directions. This is the diagram that show you the evolutions of web technology. Basically, it's talking about internet technologies. Okay, so at the very beginnings, we only have application that allow us to read only. This is my time lah. When I went to college, okay, you can only access information, those text-based lah, basically that kind of text-based, very boring one. Okay, using a browser. Okay, so the browser we are using actually is this one. The time lah, that time I use this one to access information online. Anyone can tell me what is this browser? You now know Chrome lah, Firefox, Microsoft Edge and so on, right? So do you know the first generations of browser? What is this called? Really, we have a big generation gap. Shake your head already. You don't even know what is that. It's something called Netscape. Netscape. If you Google, you can find out. The time we use this one, okay, very lousy one, right? Also, we have Yahoo that time. Yahoo come first before Google, right? It's a search engine. Okay, it's founded by Taiwanese. Okay, Taiwanese, American Taiwanese. Okay. Okay, so at this time, you can only read, very boring. You cannot do any interaction, like you want to post something and so on, right? You read one article and then down there, a lot of people want to comment and so on, right? You can post. But that time, no, you just read, receive only, okay? So later on, we move to Web 2.0. This is basically where we are now. You can, because all these application you are very familiar with already. I don't need to introduce any one of them, I think. Now we are at this Web 2.0. Okay, so it allows us not only to read, it also allows us to write. Like those Facebook posting, the Twitter tweets and so on. You can participate. You can contribute to the content. You write. Like YouTube, you can become YouTuber. You create contents for others, right? So here seems like okay, right? We are now. What kind of problem we have now? Why you want to go for Web 3.0? If you feel alright, I actually feel very comfortable with Web 3.0. Okay, 2.0. It's okay with me. Okay, but some they are not certified. Okay, so they want to move to Web 3.0. So basically, it's a decentralized network lah. Okay, so a lot of decentralized applications. Okay, what's a good point of doing this decentralizations? Okay, so that you can not only to read, to write, you also can own your data. Okay, you can own your data. Okay, here. So if you want to, if the data is belong to you, so anytime when you do want to use a certain application, you can move the data to another platform easily, because it's controlled by you. It's all in your hand. Okay. Like this identity, okay. If you are using Google account or Facebook account to log into other system, actually is controlled by a centralized entity, right, Grana? Okay. If you can have a decentralized way to actually to prove your identity, okay, and then you can log into the system you want, would it be fantastic? Okay, no longer need to depend on whether the Google server is up or not, or Facebook is usable or not, right? That will be fantastic, right? So we want to go toward this one, okay. And also another thing, which is not mentioned here, I only mentioned read, write, and own. Actually, also another big characteristic of Web3 is regarding Internet of Value. Internet of Value. Okay. In future, we will see a lot of assets. Okay. Actually, can be tokenized. Okay, and then you can access to those digital assets via this Web 3.0 because of the blockchain technologies. So blockchain technology is very important in Web 3. It serves as a foundation for this Web 3.0. Okay, if you want to perform decentralization. Okay? Just how we mentioned, Web 3 the decentralization. Okay, so you want to achieve decentralization, I think you cannot run away from using blockchain. Okay, and also if you want to make this internet as an internet of value, of course you also need to have a blockchain, okay, to tokenize those digital assets and so on. Okay, so we are moving toward this direction. So that's why it's important for you to know about blockchain. Okay. Okay, so the initial this objective of this blockchain technology basically is to remove this intermediary, third party, orang tengah. Okay, remember this is the main objective of this blockchain technology, right? Like block in this Bitcoin and so on, right? Okay. However, we want to do decentralization, or in other words, we want to remove third party, right? Okay. You will face one problem. Third party. Why third party is so important? Because it can most of the time give you the trust. If you are using a third party system, usually you have to trust on that system, like banking system. You want to transfer money to someone, okay? If I ask you to use my system, which is blockchain based, for example, Bitcoins and so on, okay? So would you be confident enough actually to use my system to transfer your hard-earned 1 million to another person overseas? You don't know how much is 1 million, okay? I don't know whether you can, after your retirement, you can get 1 million or not. Okay, now you want to transfer the 1 million to someone overseas using this kind of peer-to-peer fund transfer system like Bitcoin and so on. Okay, so would you rather go and look for the bank to do it for you, give some commission, or you want to use this peer-to-peer network to do the fund transfer? Okay. So the problem now you can see very clear. When we do the decentralization, when no more third party, no more orang tengah, okay, you will lose something called trust. Trust. Okay. People might not want to use your system. If you cannot replace the trust lost, right? You remove it, no trust. Then want people to use it, you need trust. Okay. Let's say you know him or not. You know him? Don't know. Okay. Now you want to pinjam 1,000 ringgit for him. Okay. Would you agree to give to him? Would you lend 1,000 ringgit only to him? No, right? Why? Why you didn't? Huh? You don't have trust, right? Okay. So you can see, two of them, they don't know each other. Okay, no any interactions, nothing have been done, right? We won't have trust. Let's say two of you are old friends. You know him for 10 years already. He just stay next to you, neighbor also, okay. So now he come again, ask, hey, can you pinjam me, okay, 1,000 ringgit. Would you now consider to pinjam? Yes, why? Because you know him, you have a lot of interaction with him in the past. Two of you now become a friend, right? He has done a lot of things that you think he's a trustable person, honest person, good guys, someone that might return back the money that he borrowed, right? Okay, so you can see, if I do nothing, I come up with a system, blockchain-based peer-to-peer fund transfer system, and I want to use. Very difficult, right? You don't trust me, okay? So you are looking for something, right? That allows you to believe me, allows you to trust me, right? Okay? So I need to actually do something, okay? Why I want to do something? Because I want to build this trust, which is not available in a decentralized system, okay? So what we can do? The question is, what can we do to actually to allow all of you to actually have confidence and or trust my system, which is blockchain based, which is a peer-to-peer fund transfer. Do you have any idea? So if I do those things, you will use my system. Okay, so a lot of things you need to do. Okay, if you do one thing only, maybe the trust level is not enough. Okay, so basically the idea is very simple. Do as much thing as possible. Okay, to show that you are trustable. Okay, so in this decentralized system, also the same. Okay, now today we're going to see what kind of things that we can do. We must have this one, or if you develop anything, no one's going to use one. You waste your time only. You waste your development effort. Okay, fair enough. So let's think what you must do at least. Okay. Okay. So to give you the trust that you need, actually it's listed here. This is from your one of the textbook. All right. You need to have a verification process properly done for a system. You need to do some verifications. You need to do validations. These two terms, usually people use it interchangeably. They don't differentiate one. Okay? It look like the same. Sometimes they rarely use it interchangeably. Sometimes they just use verification. Sometimes they use validation. Have you heard about these two terms? If you are doing software testing, anyone from software engineering in this class? At RSW or no? No. Most of you from RS, is it? How many of you are RS? Okay, majority of you, I think. So here, RDS. Wow. Okay, RDS. Okay. So verification and validation actually, there are some differences. Okay, it depends on the context. In blockchain, usually when we are checking those general rules, okay, we call it verifications. Verification. Of course, if I say like this, you don't understand for sure. So let me give you some example of verifications. I take Bitcoin as an example. Okay. So when you want to initiate a transaction, okay, we have rules. These transactions must be initiated by you. You must have a way to prove this transaction is initiated by you, but not another person. Okay. So normally how we do that? We actually will require the general rules here. You must sign a transaction. You need to produce a digital transaction with your transaction. Okay? So from the digital transaction, people can verify whether this transaction is actually initiated by you or not. Okay? So this is an example of verifications that we can do. Okay? Okay, another example. Still on Bitcoin. Okay. We'll talk about verifications. Okay. We can do verification on the format of transaction. This is just general rules. Okay. Format of the transactions. Whether you have crafted your transaction according to the protocol, according to the specification and so on. Is there any field missing in your transaction? Any information missing and so on? Right, correct or not? You must check. Or else it's not a valid transaction. Okay? So these are the things that I refer to as verifications. Verification. Okay. Of course, these are just some example. Actually, many things to check. Actually, verification and validation basically talk about what? checking lah, right? Checking, right? But it's a different type of checking. Okay. Okay, now we move to validation. Okay. Validations will be more application specific. It's not general rules, more application specific. Okay. It also can be checkings related to consensus protocol and so on. Okay. That means after you have, if I take Bitcoin example, because validations or verification also depends on your this application. It is an Ethereum application or is a Bitcoin application. If I talk about Bitcoin, okay, then you can refer to activities like okay, listen, whether everyone have actually put the same block to their ledger, okay, whether everyone have the same set of transaction in the same block, okay, same block, right? Okay, okay, things like that, okay, related to the step consensus protocol, okay. So this is more specific to application, okay. So you must do these two things, general checking and specific checking, if I want to make it simple, right? You must do the checking. If your system say you langsung tak check, everything kelang kabut, okay, then most likely your system will not work well, okay, a lot of violations inside your system. Can you trust this kind of system that maybe do a very minimal checking? Okay, now, right? So if I tell you like this, sure, bye-bye, your system no one's going to use, right? So you must do proper checking, including verifications and validations, okay? And some this kind of thing also can check. You can also do the checking, do the verification and validation inside your smart contract. Okay, this is at the smart contract level. Also, you can apply these verifications for some general related rules. Okay, or validation for more specific one. Okay, you can do at the smart contract level. Just now you cannot control. Just now is at the platform level, right? Correct or not? We'll talk about the verification and validation example from Bitcoin. This is all set by the Bitcoin network. You cannot control, but you can do the same kind of verification and validation in your smart contract level. Okay, so if you do both, of course, it's the best one, okay. Of course, the what kind of things to check, it depends on your smart contract content. What kind of smart contract it is, what kind of checking you want to do, and so on. Right, up to you. Maybe you want to make sure that whoever call this function is the owner of the contract, things like that. It's also a checking. Okay. So what I want to say is, panjang lebar, talk too long, but the conclusion is, do checking lah. Do checking. Make sure you do proper checking. Everything work according to the requirement. Okay. Then people have trust on you. Okay. This is a proper system. Okay. It's a safe one. Okay. And then recording also very important. And this recording cannot be a normal recording. For example, just store the data into a database. Okay. It must be an immutable recording. What does it mean? It means once you have written to the ledger, no way you're going to change it. No one can change it. When I tell you this, would you feel like, wow, very trustable? Whatever record, transaction recorded, wow, no one in the world can change. Then it will give you some confidence, right? Give you more trust to this system, right? Cannot, okay? So you need to do a lot of things, not only one thing. Checking alone cannot work. I want to tell you, we are utilizing a ledger which is immutable and so on, right? Then you have more confidence. Okay, enough or not? Enough confidence or not to use? Still not, Okay, do more things now. Okay? Well, to get back the trust that you lost because of decentralization, because you keep the third party out, okay? You no longer use the third party like banks more trustable, this is what we believe, okay? So you want to trust back, you need to do all these things, including consensus, okay? This is define the protocol. Consensus is very important because it will tell you all the node inside the network actually having the same status, same state of the blockchain. Okay, so every node we have it, right? Okay, because our record is stored inside, okay, all the nodes in the network. So if one of the node having a ledger different from others, wow, so can you trust? Who should I trust, right? You must to make sure everyone recording the same thing, okay? The same set of transaction inside a same block, okay? Everything must be the same, okay? If not, okay, I don't know whether you will believe or not on that system, correct or not? Okay, so consensus protocol also very important. You must design a proper consensus protocol, okay, for your this blockchain application, okay. Okay, so apart from that, okay, also we need to guarantee the integrity. Okay, sorry, I stopped for a while because I think a lot of you looking at your phone, okay, during my class, okay. I want to learn from another lecturer, okay. Actually, she requested students to actually put their handphone away while listening to lecture, okay. So I'm not sure shall I do the same here. It seems like the outcome very good, no? So after she requested students to actually keep their phone somewhere to look at it, and they're all looking at the lecturer. After the finish of the class, they clap their hand. I'm not sure I can apply this rule to this class. To have all of you, okay, to leave your smartphone aside for a while, okay? Is it okay? No, I don't want to make it compulsory. I'm not the kind of person who want to force people doing things. Okay, I just want to get your concentration only. That's all. Alright. Okay, let's come back to here. Alright. This one we talk about trust. Very important. Apart from trust, also you want to have integrity. Integrity here means to ensure the security and privacy of data and confidentiality of transactions. Okay. So to achieve this, of course, first you must agree with me lah. This is important lah. If this is not agreeable, you don't think this is important, why I need to do a lot of things, right? Do you think important or not? To make it secure, preserve the confidentialities of transactions, okay? Emphasize on the privacy, things like that. Yes lah, okay. No one object lah. Then we need to do. If you think this is important for you to use the system, then we need to do something, okay? Because just now by doing all these things, yeah, you might have some trust, but okay, you might not be able to have guarantee on integrity. Okay, so we do more things. Okay, so here we need to make sure, okay, we know the participant, okay, we need the participant, okay. So the transaction, for example, if I want to send this 1 Bitcoin to someone, right, then this transaction must be initiated by that sender, right? It cannot be a system that can allow someone else to send on behalf of someone for that 1 Bitcoin, right? So it's very important. Identity. So how you actually manage this? Okay. You cannot allow someone else to do the transaction on behalf of someone else. That means the one want to send the Bitcoin out must be that person. Must have the control over that account, okay? We transfer through account one. Account is the address. Address belonging to someone, or account belonging to someone. So how would I know that you are the owner of that account? You can send that 1 Bitcoin to someone, right? There must be a way to tell me, okay? Yes, I can confirm you are the owner of that account. Then how? You don't have any third party to ask, okay? The system need to solve this problem on your own, Yeah, a decentralized system. Now everything on you. Think about the way to do it. Okay. Of course, there is a solution, or else how we can have blockchain today, right? Okay. So basically, we depend very much on these old technologies that we have. Right? This is called private and public key pair. Okay. Basically, related to public key cryptography. Most of you are coming from RSA background. I believe you have learned public key cryptography, right? Okay. Those who know public key cryptography, can you raise your hand? Raise as high as possible. Be more confident. You don't know what is public key cryptography? I do pretend, you should have learned already for sure, RI students. But RDS students, I'm not so sure whether you have learned. Have you learned? Okay, good. We have students from which program? What are the programs that I have not mentioned until now? I only mentioned RS and RDS and then RSW. Got anyone from RSW? No? RSW got? Okay. Have you learned about public key cryptography? Discussing with your friend. Got I'm not sure, okay. Okay, RSW and one more, I think. What's that? RST, is it? Anyone for RST? No one? RST? No one for RST. I don't remember. I think about 4 programs for this elective course. Right, maybe they are playing game now. Alright, so later on we will see how actually we can use this to provide identity. This is how we identify the owner of the account. Okay, but not referring to anyone. To confirm the identity. Okay. Okay, so this is not a problem basically. Alright, then what about this with confidentiality? Okay. For example, if I want to come up with a auction related application, you know what auction? Let's say I have an old iPhone I want to sell, right? I can actually sell it through auction, right? So you can bid your price lah. How much you want to bid? 3 million for one old iPhone. Something wrong here. 3 million rupiah, I see. Okay, what about you? How much you want to bid for old iPhone? Okay, iPhone 13.
No one.
Huh?
No one.
The one. What the latest one? What about you? How much you want to bid? Old iPhone only used for 1 year. 5 ringgit. 5,000 ringgit. Wait, still can. 1,000, Okay, roughly lah. Okay. So if everyone is using the blockchain-based application to pitch, right? Okay. Highly probable people will know how much you bid for this old iPhone, because if you are like Bitcoin and so on, right? Okay. So it's actually written to public blockchain. Everyone can view the transaction, okay? They have a way to find out how much you pitch, okay? Or you are using Ethereum, smart contract. You call it a function, and then you give the parameter 1,000 ringgit. This is all inside a transaction, and all this will be recorded in the ledger, and then the explorer can go and see the transaction. Yeah. So then no confidentiality already. I know you pick for 1,000. I really want to get it, so I pick 1,001 ringgit. Why I going to pick 2,000, right? Since I can see, right? The auction period not yet end, right? Okay, so it's very important. Sometimes we safeguard the confidentiality for some application. Okay, confidentiality is very important. And don't worry, actually, we have some old technology. Once again, no any new technologies. Okay, old technology like this cryptography or hashing algorithm and so on. All you can use to protect, like this hashing also possible. Okay, of course hashing is not for you to encrypt something. If you want to encrypt, turn it into something that people don't understand, you use cryptography, right? Okay, to do encryption. Okay, but hashing also there is a way to do this. Okay. Okay, so we can, no problem lah. This is not to let you to scratch your head. Oh, how to do that and so on. No, just want to tell you that when you keep away, remove the third party, you are in trouble. But we still want decentralized system, right? So at the end, because when we look at the integrity that we must have, the trust that we have, then we need to do a lot of things. And another thing is, don't worry, all this can be solved. All this can be solved because we have old technologies, okay, which is used to support our blockchain technology. And same for privacy also, you can use cryptography or hashing technique. Okay. Okay. So actually, I talked so long. Just want you to really understand one point. Decentralization is maybe something that we want. To realize it is not a problem. But when you try to go for decentralization for applications, for sure you will lose the trust and the integrity guarantee. Good or not? So we need to do a lot of things to bring back the trust, bring back the guarantee on integrity. That's why you see a lot of things that we discuss. Okay, so what will be the next? The next thing is we're going to do into details lah. Okay, the technologies that can help us to solve the problem that we have just discussed. In another word, these are the important technologies to actually make our blockchain technology possible. Okay, it's related to technology that support blockchain technologies. Alright. Okay, let's move on. So here, of course, for those technologies related to blockchain, actually is more than that, okay, more than the one you see here. But of course, we only focus on a few important one, right? I think for this discussion today, it will be very fast for me because I made assumption only, that you have a good understanding on cryptography, hashing, okay, and so on. I hope this is true. This is true. Okay. If you don't understand, please raise your hand. Okay. I can proceed slower. Okay. If you all think very senang and so on, you can alert me. Sir, go faster lah. This one, I learned already last time. I know better than you. And so on. Let me know that I go faster. Okay. I think it's a good opportunity for you to recap what you have learned. I think most of the program are not so familiar with all the program structure. I believe you have some information security related courses, right? That cover this part, right? Okay. Maybe can I have a show of hand to make sure everyone have it? Okay. Anyone never learned about hash function or public key cryptography before? Can you raise your hand? Let me know. No. Two of you only. So you're coming from which program? Which program? SW never cover. Okay. RDS got. Okay. So see, so this is difficult. This is elective course. So I still need to take care of our friend here. So the rest will be just a quick revision for you. Okay, let's go through together. Okay, so today we are going to cover these two only, hash function and public cryptography. Hash function. So what is hash function? Okay. Basically, hash function is the one that allows you to produce a fingerprint on certain input. Okay. So let's say you have text or anything any input. It can be just a very short text. It can be a video file. Okay. Big files and so on. Doesn't matter. I don't care about the input. Okay. So after you have used your hash function and you run it through, and then what will you get? You get something called hash value. Actually, there are many names for it. Some call it message digest (MD). message digest. It's the same thing. Okay, it refers to hash value. Okay, it's the output from your hash function after taking the input. Input can be anything, right? And usually the hash value is fixed. The size is fixed. Okay, depend on what hash function you use. It is fixed. Okay. And from the input, you'll not be able to find the original input. If you look at output here after running through this hash function, you cannot guess. No way for you to find out the input. I hope I managed to recall your memory. Okay. A very simple example. Okay. So I ask, I always ask you, then you are under pressure, right? So I go to here I can only reach here. There's a limit for me. Okay. Our friend, what have you eaten this morning?
Noodles.
Noodles. What else? Only noodle. Okay, noodle. Okay, not good answer. Okay, wouldn't fix my example well. Our friends, what did you eat this morning? Eat nothing. I cannot use this example also. Susahnya. Okay, anyone have eat more than 2 items, 3 items? Our friends, I have eaten this morning.
Chicken rice.
Huh?
Chicken rice.
Chicken rice. Okay lah, at least got chicken and rice. Got any chili sauce?
Yes.
Chili sauce? Yes. Okay. What else I can put? Cucumber got not? Not so good. Only one small cucumber or what? 2? Okay lah, got lah. Okay, good. So our friends have eaten how many items? Rice, chicken, chili sauce, cucumber. Okay. So these are considered input. I can run it through my hash function. Where is my hash function? Here lor. Input here. Okay. So after a few hours, enough or not? Then you go to toilet. Of course you produce something called something that you understand Okay. Now you haven't flushed. So our friend here, your friend, sitting just next to you, very interested to find out what you have eaten. So you go to the toilet and look at it. Okay. So from the output, would you guess what is the input? What he ate okay, in the morning. Kena Sure apa? Kena? Satu pun tak tahu. Okay, so this is the same. Okay, so from the output, if this is a good hash function, I mean a good hash function. Sometimes my hash function no good. The rice chicken eaten come out also. As it is, right? Still recognizable, right? Okay, so it depends on how good is your hash function. To come up with hash function, everyone can come up. You also can create your hash function, but it must have very good characteristic. One of it is just now from the output. There is no way for anyone to actually to guess what is the input. This is very important. Okay? So this is hash function. Okay? So the output actually is something that can represent your input, but can represent only fingerprint, represent your input. Represent only, it cannot let you to recognize your input. Okay? And it is always a fixed size. Those are good hash function. It has been designed in such a way it gives you a fixed output no matter how much you eat. Our friend just now, after that go for roti canai, mee goreng and so on. But the outputs this is no good. This is not a good example already because of course you eat more and the output will be more, right? Okay, this is not. But hash function different. No matter how big is your input, outputs always be the fixed. Actually, has some these are the characteristics of hash function. Our friend, two of you, now you have some understanding on it because the fingerprint, the output, it going to let you to represent certain input. Represent. When I look at this output, I know it's that input, but I don't know what is that. Okay. Okay, I didn't discuss in detail all these things because you have learned already. Just do your own revision on the properties of hash function. Okay, example of hash function that you have seen. I believe some of you know. I think all of you know. Okay, example of hash function, MD5, message digest file. SHA-256, this is the most common one that we use nowadays. Okay, but this one no longer considered strong or safe. We now moving towards SHA-3. A lot of protocol they change from SHA-2 to SHA-3, stronger one. And then also we have CAPTCHA-256. This is something I need to mention because you don't know. I believe you don't know. Okay, this is just another hash function, and it is specifically used for Ethereum. When no Ethereum, we don't have this hash function. This hash function is created for Ethereum. Okay, for the for those for them for certain usage in their protocol. Actually, this is very similar to SHA-3. SHA-3 is a standard that comes later than CAPTCHA. When the founders of Ethereum designed this Ethereum, he want to use a very strong hashing function. Okay, the strong one, of course, is SHA-3 at the time, but that time not yet standardized. The standardization of this hash function not yet complete. Okay, so shall I wait? Or because basically you know already roughly how it works, right? So you can create your own one, and then you use your own one. You want to wait for the standardization, maybe it take few months or 1 year or what, right? You will delay your project, right? So they go for this CAPTCHA, their own define their own hash function. As I mentioned, you also can come up with a hash function, right? You can call it whatever name. Okay, so they decided to use this one. So it's very similar. It's very similar to SHA-3, but it's not exactly the same, and many others, okay. Alright, so you want to play around. Usually I don't demo here because I've given you the link, okay. Take the link and just try out. Then especially for the two students there, try out. I hope you can try out. Then you can find the characteristics of this hash function. And then talking about usage, this is important for you to really understand. So what's the usage? We have this is a special kind of function called hash function. Hey, how we can utilize it for some very practical usages? Okay. Good example here is integrity checking. Okay. Let's say you want to download a big file from somewhere. Okay. You download maybe the example I can give you the ISO file, image file. It's not usually how many giga, right? Okay, for giga file with how many giga, you need to take how long to download, to complete the downloading. You see how long? Let's say 2 giga. I don't know. I haven't tried. For your past experience, would it take half a day or 3 hours? No, very fast one. 2 hours. Roughly, if you use a very slow computer, right? Okay, 2 hours, let's say. I make it bigger, 5 giga. Okay? 5 giga, maybe 2 hours. Okay, let's say 2 hours. You're using a lousy computer. Okay. So you keep on downloading, so you go through, you know how you get your data, if you know networking, right? Okay? You need to go to US, go to Japan, and go to Hong Kong, and come back to Malaysia, right? You can downloading for US and so on, right? Okay, all in this IP packet, okay? Come back again. Okay, so there is a possibility that the data that you download get changed, modified. Let's say a lightning, bang! What happened? Maybe the wire, your network cable or whatever. Okay, and for the data you download, one of the zero, all in binary, right? 0 or 1, 0 or 1, right? How the 0 become 1? This is just a very small change, Okay, but it might corrupt your whole file, right? Okay, so how do you know there is such a change in the file you download as compared to the original one on the website. How can you confirm that you actually have downloaded the correct file? Nothing's different. Just a bang! Okay. 10 become 1. How do you know? This is the time that you can use a hash function to calculate the hash values of the original file and with the downloaded one. Usually, the file provider will actually publish the hash value of the original file, right? For the 5 giga file, for example. And look at the hash value. Okay, after you completed, then you run the same hash function again, right? Okay, so you see the hash value, whether they are the same. If exactly the same, there being no change, correct not? If the two hash value not tally, that means it has been modified, right? Just a bang, inside 10 become 1, right? Then you need to re-download, right? So this is for file integrity checking. Another example, password. Let's say a window login. Okay, RS student know okay. When you log in, it's not going to, your computer not going to store your original pen test, right? Your original input or your password. So you convert to hash value. Okay, so store okay, store there. So when you register a new account for your window, right? Okay, whatever you input the password actually will turn into hash value and then store as a hash value. You want to store your original password. Okay, so next time if you log in using that account, you key in the password. So how you know that the password input by the user is correct? What you need to do is very simple, right? The password input by the user you convert to hash value using the hash function, right? And then after you compare to the previous this register hash value there, the one you store, you compare with the one the user input. If they are the same meaning, the password is correct, right? Okay. So this hash function also widely used in blockchain. Later on you will see. Blockchains is another area that made heavy use of hash function. Okay. Okay. So how hash value, hash function is used in blockchain? Of course, this is only one of the scenario, one of the way blockchain use hash function. Okay. So, as you know, blockchain will contain block. This is what we have discussed in our first chapter, right? Okay. And then every block, okay, will have a record on the previous hash. That means here, this block before this block, we will calculate the hash values, okay, and then the hash value of this block will be recorded here in one or few, okay, and then the whole thing, the content of the block again will be hashed, and then hash value will be recorded here in the next block, and the process goes on. So why we do that? Why we do that? They are chained together. Okay. So we chain together, correct now? You see a chain, right?
Yeah.
So we call it blockchain. Actually, they are chained in this way. You see, this is a chain. Even though it doesn't look like a chain. This is a chain. This is how we have blockchain. Now you see the block. Now you see the chain. Block, you understand? Inside got transaction, right? And some metadata, of course. And then they are linked together. They're chained together. Why we call it chained together? Because we record the hash value of the previous block. It's that simple. In another word, if I want to say it nicely, say blocks are cryptographically linked. Okay, I can say that. Okay, cryptographic link. Okay. So if I make a change here, let's say, okay, then the hash value, people go and check, it's not going to be same with this one. So this will give me a way to easily to notice any modification to the content of the previous block. Okay, so if you say, hey, I change this one lah, I change this hash value lah. Okay, so if you change this one value, of course it's the transaction you modify, you get a new hash value, and this not tally with this record. No, I'm going to change this one, make it the same. Never mind, but I still can notice because I will refer to this. When I check, I hash it, it's not going to give me this value. Cannot. Okay, this is how our record or our transaction those block made immutable. Okay, no one can change because if you try to change, it will be detected. Okay, so you can see the usage of hash function in blockchain. Of course, this is only one of the examples. Alright. Okay, so this is a Bitcoin block header, the metadata part. So where's the previous hash value? This one, previous block hash value. Okay, so it's stored inside one of the few inside the header part. It's inside the header. A block usually will have a header containing those metadata and then the transactions, a long list of transactions. This is the structure of a block. Okay, this one you'll learn later on. You know more. Okay, yeah. So here, this is how it look like. Okay, so the previous hash value will be recorded here inside the header, header of the block. Okay, and then so inside the header, okay, you can see some metadata, including something called Merkle root. Merkle root. Later on, I'll explain to you what's Merkle root. This is very important for you to know. Okay. Okay, and then for the body, you can see for the body, it's a long list of transaction. Long list of transaction. So this is structure, okay, of a typical Bitcoin block. Okay, header, body, very common, right? Okay, header and body. Okay, so here we have a previous hash for the new block. If I calculate the hash value, then I will record here in the new block, the next coming block. Okay, this one I think all of you can accept. Not so difficult to understand. The problem here is I don't hash the whole thing. Starting from Bitcoin, the first blockchain network, we already designed in such a way we don't hash the whole thing from the header until the body part, and then give you the hash value of this block and then store in the next block. No, we are not doing that. Okay, now we do in a different way. Okay, so what we do is in the design we hash this part metadata only. We don't hash this all this content we don't put inside the hash function. Okay, we only hash those whatever data here inside the header, including something called Merkle root. Okay, then you calculate the hash value for that block. So the hash value for the block not actually including the transaction, okay, but it's related to transaction. Okay, but we still take transaction into consideration because of Merkle tree. It's related to Merkle tree. Okay, how these transactions look like actually related to your Merkle tree root value. Okay, so meaning to say your Merkle tree Merkle root is actually coming from the repeated hashing of your transaction, but not in a very straightforward way. Not in a very straightforward way. Because when you talk about hashing, or you think, okay, since Dr. Wong say this Merkle root is related to all these transactions, right? Maybe you just hash it all these transaction 1 until transaction. You just hash it using a hash function, and then it give you Merkle root, which is a hash value also. Okay. Actually, not that simple. We are not hashing in that simple way. Okay. So how we actually get our Merkle root now? The key takeaway also for today. So today you learn, after you go out from here, don't tell people I learned nothing. At least you tell people, hey, I learned how to get the Merkle root. Okay, at least you know. Okay, so everyone look at here how you actually get your Merkle root. Merkle tree is not something very new. Also old technologies. It has been there for years, more than 40 years maybe. Okay. Alright, so to come up with the Merkle root, this is Merkle root, right? This one I highlighted in yellow, right? Okay, so let's assume since in your body, the block body just now, you have only 8 total 8 transaction here. Right? Transaction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one not logical. Okay, of course you have the 2000 something and so on. Okay. How many transactions that you can put in depends on the size of the design, the Bitcoin protocol. Okay, it can be 1 megabyte and so on. Alright, so you cannot put any more if you have reached the maximum. Let's say for our discussion, we just take 8 transactions. Usually more than that. Okay, so what we do is very simple. So we will use this SHA-256 okay, to do a double hashing. Okay, first we calculate the individual hash or everyone. All the transaction we calculate the individual hash, right? Individual hash. And after that, we'll combine these two. Okay, hash 1 is this one, plus hash 2, this is hash 2. Okay, we combine, concatenate, okay, and then we hash it. Okay, we hash it, and then we hash again to make it stronger. Double hashing generally believed to be stronger than single hashing. You hash it and hash it again. Okay, which has the output again. Double hashing, we give it a stronger output. That people will most likely cannot guess already. The original input. Alright. So if I have done this, continue with the rest. I also do the same with this one. I combine these two, hash it, and then I double hash. I get this one. Right. And then after I continue now, I combine these two, the neighboring hash. Okay, combine. I hash it and hash it again. Double hashing. Okay. Then I get this new hash. I'll do the same for this part also. The same thing, same process. Okay. So here, okay, if I have gotten the value here, and then I will just do it again, combine, hash it, and hash it, double hashing. Nothing more that I need to do, right? I have completed actually. Then I managed to get my Merkle root. So this Merkle root is the one that I mentioned just now. This Merkle root, and I put it inside the header. Inside the header, not body. Body only have the transaction. Okay, clear? Okay, so it's not a simple hashing, right? To get the Merkle root, right? It's not very simple. So, shook, hash the whole thing down, 1 to 8. Hash now. I do the double compiler, double hash the process, right? Of course, people want to do that because of certain reason, clear enough? Okay, why you have a simple way you don't want to use? You want to source to Sapphire and get your Merkle root here. Okay, the hash value. Remember, this is just a hash value. There's a special name for it only. Okay, this hash value is coming from here, but through this complicated, not complicated, very straightforward also. Okay, so you do, and then you get your Merkle root. Okay. Later we discuss why. Okay, but before that, okay. Just now is a very perfect scenario where you can find your partner and then you combine and then you do a double hashing and at the end you get the Merkle root, right? Clear enough? Okay. Alert me when it comes to the end, of course I need to give you the pin code. Right. Okay, now let's say I don't have partner here. Here I got partner, partner. Here got partner or not? No. Because the number of transactions you can put inside a block is not fixed. It's not fixed, I said. It must be 8,000 transactions, 2,000 transactions, or 8 transactions. So you can have pair, right? No, it always depends on whether the size of the block already full or not. Sometimes you can get 7 transactions, sometimes you can 8 transactions, right? So in this scenario, 7 transactions only. You don't have a partner. So what do you do? Give me a suggestion. I still need to get my Merkle root. I cannot stop there because this transaction lacking 1 partner, right? So what is the transaction? What you can do? Don't need to combine. also came out up to us only. Okay, so the designer of this Bitcoin decided to just duplicate transaction 7 and just duplicate transaction 7. Is that the problem? Okay, so we can repeat the same law. Okay, clear enough? Okay, so the whole story continue just the same huh? Okay, so you repeat the process. Now you got the partner, no problem. Just repeat the previous process and get your Merkle root. Okay, remember when the number of transactions is not even, you just duplicate the needed transaction. Okay. So far so good. Can follow? Am I too fast? Okay. At least you go out from this room, you still remember Merkle tree. Now I'm very happy already. Okay. You know what is the hash function, especially for the 2 students. This function, right? Okay. So if you want to try out how Merkle tree work, you can follow this link to do it. Okay, so this is Merkle root. If you go to Explorer, look at a certain block on Bitcoin Explorer, you can find Merkle root. So at least now you go to Bitcoin Explorer, you know better than others people. You look at the field, okay, inside the metadata in the header. You understand what is Merkle root, right? Previously you look at it, you don't know what's there. Hey, what is this? 3C9 blah 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 2021. This long string, what is that? Now you know what is that? Hash value lah. Okay, how you get this one? Just now you find the pair and then repeat the hashing. At the end you got one single root, right? This one is a Merkle root, it's a hash value. Okay, you happy lah? Okay. Actually, we cannot expect all of you to remember a lot of things after going up from the class. At least you know something. I'm very happy already. Okay. And then you know, hashing, why hashing so important? You see, you use hashing a lot, right? That's how we only know about the link, right? Cryptography link, right? You have to store the previous hash of the previous block, right? It's a limit. You use hash function, right? Now you come up with the Merkle root also using hash function, right? So hash function is very widely used in blockchain. That's why today you are here to study hash function. Okay. Okay. So what are the benefits? Okay, so here, because Merkle tree can be used to prove the integrity or validity of data. Okay. If I want to check whether a certain transaction has been included or not in a certain block, I want to know. How can I know? Whether that transaction, let's say I transfer 1 Bitcoin to someone, this simple transaction. So I want to know whether these transactions have been included or not. So how can I go and find out? Okay. Of course, you must download a copy of the whole transaction, the whole ledger, then you can find out, right? Okay. But if I use the simple way to hash everything, okay. When I want to check, I need to have all the hash of the transaction. Okay. Believe me, if I use that simple way, okay. If I want to know whether my transaction is there, I check the Merkle root, and then if I can get the same Merkle root with my transaction inside the transaction set, yeah, I can produce the same Merkle root, no problem. But you need to provide me all the hash value, okay, all the transaction, okay, if I want to check, okay. So if I have this Merkle root structure, then it will be easy for me. I take one example. Let's say I'm curious. Maybe I'm just a lightweight device. I cannot afford to download the whole record of the ledger. I use a mobile phone. Can I store up to 3 mega? Cannot. Okay, giga. Can also, but I don't want because my phone is very old. Okay, I cannot afford to use a lot of my memory and so on. Okay, I still want to check whether my one of the transaction related to me they are interested in. Let's say transaction 3. Hey, is it really recorded in that block or not? Okay, you know the block, it got the Merkle root, right? Agree everyone now? In the block, in our ledger, no matter which block, okay, in the block in the past and so on, just take one block. Of course, the Merkle root is there, okay, for sure, right? Okay, so I know this transaction is it inside this block. I want to check, okay, I want to confirm, okay. So here in this case, what you can do is you just record a few data. Okay, I want to check this one, is it inside this block? okay, with this Merkle root value. So for the transaction I'm interested in, I can calculate on my own the hash value, no problem. Okay, but if I want to go up to here, then later I need to combine with this one, right? But this one I don't have, so I can get from other peer, other node. Okay, I'm just a light node. I don't store everything, but a lot of my friends, all my node, the network, they have it. They have the full record. Why not? I just ask, hey, give me now. You just take out this to me now. So you can give me, no problem. Transaction 4, right? You want? Okay, I give you the hash. Okay. Now I'm happy because I can combine. I can get this one, right? Okay. So for this one, later on when I want to go to the top, I need to combine with this guy, right? So I don't have it all. Don't worry, just ask again. Hey, give me this hash 1, 2. Okay, minta saja lah. Okay, and then you receive this one, right? Correct or not? And with this one, you still need this friend here. Okay, another this value for you to combine, and then you come up with Merkle root. Merkle root is also got, right? Okay, so with all this information, you can check already whether the Merkle root that you calculate in this way is same with the Merkle root or not. If yes, they need to say, for sure lah, this transaction is already inside this block. This is how you do the verification, right? So it looks like it's not much of saving, but if I make the transaction number larger until 2000, this is more realistic. It's more realistic number of transaction, not 8 lah, too few. Right? Okay, so you can see the saving. Okay, if add, I only need 3 information, correct or not? I'll go back and check. 1, 2, 3, 3 information, right? Okay, but in case we have 16 transaction, actually I only need 4. If 32 transaction, I only ask 5 information for the peer. Okay, so for the full node now we call full node. If I have 2000 something, I only need to minta 11 only. If I use just a simple way, get all the transaction, and your transaction is here, right? Transaction 3. Then you have to calculate the Merkle root. You all need to minta this transaction 1 until transaction 2048, right? Okay, you give me. I hash now. Of course, if transaction 3 included in this block, of course the Merkle root is correct, tally, right? But I need to have how many information? You can guess, you minus yourself, the rest you only that means you need to get 2047 pieces of information from your peer, right? Okay, for you to verify whether this transaction already included in the block or not. It's a lot of information needed, so you need to ask this lot of information to be transmitted over network because you are getting from your peer over the network. This is no good. And then if you need to get so much information, you need to have a lot of this space also to store. Also no good, right? So that's why we use Merkle tree to solve this problem. This will make your verification job easier. You can easily go and check. Okay. Alright, everyone. So this is Merkle tree. At least you know why we use Merkle tree. It's used in Bitcoin. It's used in Ethereum also, and it's used in others blockchain platform also. So it's very important structure for you to know. Okay, data structure basically. Okay. Of course, the Ethereum is more complicated. When you come to the Ethereum chapter, and you will know, or you will give up already. So don't need to discuss already. you won't be able to understand easier. This is because it will be another variance of Merkle tree. More complicated, but the basic one at least you understand. Right? It's related to hashing, right? See, this data structure called Merkle tree is depending on hashing function. Okay, a lot of hashing happening there, right? We check against the hash value, right? Right. Okay, enough. Let me check the time. Actually, I want to. This is the version, the variant that I mentioned just now. Used in Ethereum. It's a Merkle tree also, but it's a variant. This one we'll discuss when we come to that chapter. Let me check the time. I think I'm running behind. Okay, So I have only about 31, no, 15 minutes. 15 minutes. I promised to release you earlier, right? So before that, let me give you your PIN code lah, just in case you don't have much time left later on. Everyone still have the energies?
No.
Can?
Cannot.
You eat your this lunch too early.